Heyo, my PlanCo friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to another episode of Project PlanCo. Today we have a fun one. We are revisiting our little Chinatown, Asia area, because we have three incredible builds that have just come in, nearly completing this entire area. Three more small builds to go, and this area will be done other than the contest. So as mentioned, we will be looking at only three today instead of the five that I've been doing, and that is because I only have three, and that is we're missing six in total. So I figured we could do half and half, and then we'll complete that. I want to keep these episodes somewhat thematic, so I decided three would be the best choice here. So why don't we get right on into it? Boom, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, our first build coming in from Mouse Ears 71, and here they say, my submission for the Channel 5 gaming Project PlanCo. The plot was in Asia Town Building 5, and I used 1,171 pieces of the 1,200. Thank you for that information. There's no custom media or TMTK. I had a lot of fun with this, and wish good luck for all collaborators on this amazing project. Absolutely. So a great build here. It fit in quite nicely considering this builder has to worry about landscaping. They are on a hill and they are right next to a marketplace, and as they fit together and the way they've both combined their terrain, there's literally almost nothing we need to do. In fact, I don't think there is anything we need to do. They fit so beautifully together. It is a perfect harmony. Look at these neighbors working together. Suppose we can paint this a little bit, put a few bushes back there, but generally speaking, unless you're coming down here, you probably won't even notice. Don't build what you don't need to see, so we'll maybe just put a few trees at the end here. Generally speaking, that should be fine. Very nice Asian build. Hard for me to critique. I've never built in this style myself. I don't know much about Japanese and Asian architecture at all. I just know it looks good. Like you use the little pointy bits on the corners, and you put some cherry blossom trees in and some paper lanterns, that sort of thing. It's like, yep, looks about right to me. You got the nice variation of wood textures there as we go in. That's kind of clever. You have the character, the TMTK sitting on the ground. That is, I've gone to Japanese restaurants. They got the little miso soup, or is that the tea? Oh, that is adorable. I love these details. Again, fits perfectly beside Rohana's market because she has all these crazy details too. But yeah, I've been to Japanese restaurants before, and they sit you on the floor like that. My knees get really sore after a while of chilling there. Oh, she's got an instrument there. She's a snake charmer or something? I don't know what that is. Or she's playing a flute? I don't know. All I know is it looks cool. Look at this. I think there's a tree. Or no, these are just leaves. Yeah, very cool. The falling leaves effect, and then leaves on the ground. The attention to detail on this build is ridiculous. I love it. Then we have the cherry blossom tree. Oh, getting smacked in the face. We can fix that for you. Wait, why can't I rotate a tree? Just nudge it off to the side there. There we go. Now you're not getting smacked in the face. It's getting tickled in the ears. No, it's great. I love it. Absolutely love it. No critiques, no qualms. It fit in like a glove. It's beautiful. This is normally Dune Delights, but you turned it into a stir fry. I just think is also clever. The sound effects and the VFX that you put there and just on the teapot, I don't know if this is just happens periodically. It happened when we looked at it last. I think it's adorable and very clever. Okay, Mouse Ears, you did an amazing job. I think Mouse Ears signed up for one of our prototype coasters in the back. So after seeing your build, I have high hopes for what you prototype for our future coasters. And that is a message to the viewers. While there are a lot of videos and episodes in this series that are related to blueprint, because we got to build so many buildings, we will have a whole bunch of coasters coming up. Don't you worry. Hopefully you guys stick around for the blueprints and not just the coasters, because there's a lot of work gone into this on my end, as well as each and every one of the creators. Okay. Our next building is Asia Town Building 3. What do they say? Final piece count 900, as I am not allowed any more QQ, and I don't know why. You want to know why? Because I already have 34 FPS looking in this direction, and we're about a tenth of the way. That is why. I'm in love with Japanese builds, so I thought, why not create a small building for the best community out there and do it right. I love dark wood mixed with small hints of color, so yeah, that's it. As you are placing, look at the screenshots provided. The big yellow signs are to help you place the building. Let the big yellow signs touch the corners of my adjacent plot, Asia Building 4. For the smaller yellow signs, just lower the ones. Okay. After done placing, remove all yellow signs. Enjoy. So yeah, I saw the yellow signs and I thought, oh, this must be for your neighbor. I thought you were communicating with your neighbor, but that was apparently meant for me. The problem with your neighbor is I reviewed their creation and sent it back, and basically they're probably gonna have to redesign their whole building because they built it down here, and when you go in their building, you're walking through dirt, and they did not build their building to the terrain and the slope. They built it off the map somewhere else on a flat map. So they didn't have any idea who their neighbors were, what terrain they're building on, or anything like that. And the building just basically doesn't work. And it was lacking a little bit of polish. So this building here probably is in for an entire rework. I mean, sure, they might reuse their windows, their trim, and use the same kind of design that they were going for. But generally speaking, it's not going to work out in its current form. So whatever signs you did give me weren't really helpful, considering this building does not currently exist, and when I get it back it might be completely different anyways. With that said, hopefully we'll just make it work. Regardless of what your neighbor does, you shouldn't have to worry about your neighbor and only worry about yourself. And if everybody stays within their box, then there shouldn't be any issues, right? And while your build did fit well, I love the way this looks on the back end, by the way. It came with this rock work and garden work, so you dressed up the riverbed, and I love it. Absolutely love it. The building, using those bold black colors with the red, also love it. Completely different than what the style is over here, but both of them look amazing for their own different reasons. So yeah, I really like what you did with these panels too, the interlayering caged windows, if you will, with the potted plants. It's really quite nice. These are great details. Upper balcony, tiny little seating areas made out of little wooden pieces. It's super clever. Little intricate balconies and all that. Although I don't think people would actually be able to walk in here. Maybe they'd have to crouch and crawl. Either way, it looks cool. Really nothing to scoff at. It's pretty incredible. So yeah, my one tiny gripe is you did go over your boundary box ends where your building ends, and then you pop this out. It's like, oh darn, because in theory, not only will this crash into your neighbor, most likely, but you have a neighbor. So you would never really build windows here in the first place. And this is a lot of part count. You're QQing about part count, and this intricate window with all these little pieces, probably like a lot of pieces. I would imagine it's a lot. If you would have left this side of the building somewhat plain, kind of like this wall here, you would have had all these pieces to add to whatever you wanted to add to, or you would just have less pieces, and that's also a great thing. Less pieces is good. But yeah, chances are we'll never see this window ever again when this building gets plopped in, and I might even go in there and delete some of that, unfortunately. But that's pretty much my only qualm with this build, other than this, but this isn't your fault. And I knew this would be an issue originally when the bridge came in, and we talked about that in the bridge episode. I said this bridge is probably going to butt into your neighbors. And while I don't need to delete this piece, it doesn't quite seem the same without a horn. So I might, no, I'll just leave that. I'll delete the horn because it clearly sticks through the roof. And then we'll just keep the horns on this side. It's crashing through the roof. I suspected that would happen. So I could just, yeah, I don't know. I think just leaving it is fine. Honestly, it's such a small thing that, you know, you'd have to really, there's so much noise, and once all the stuff's in the park, if you're walking through here, your attention's going to be pulled here. You know, maybe delete the lantern down here at the very most, because of the lantern and lighting will draw your attention to the strangeness that's happening here. I mean, I could even delete the post, but I like it. So yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. There's not too many bad things happening. It's just really crampy. So hopefully now when the next building goes in, I don't go, oh crap, now I gotta rethink everything here. But I knew the bridge was gonna be tricky. Even when they were assigned it, I didn't know if they were going to be able to pull it off in such a tight area. And when I placed it, I knew that would probably give us some issues, but I think it's good enough, right? It's probably fine just like that. So yeah, I'm okay with it. It's fine. And now, last but not least, we have our toilets. So these are the Asiatown Building 1 toilets, a grand Chinese themed blueprint for all your toilet needs. First developed for Project PlanCo Collaboration Park, contains 2 bathrooms, modules, some hidden nooks and crannies, and Easter eggs for those Channel 5 gaming community members. Was designed for the park's terrain, but can be placed on flat ground as well. Contains hide me signs, thank you for that, for placement purposes and pathing guide. Perfect. Another creation that fit snug as a glove, no issues. Built it to the terrain, so you have a higher side, you have a lower side. They've decided to put the entrance on the higher side, which is very, very smart because going, and that's what I suggested to this creator. This creator actually built their shop down here and it just caused so many problems. It's always smarter to start high, and then that way it's like I enter your shop and now your floor can run all the way across. Almost think of like the green part as the floor. That way when you enter the shop, right, this is all flat, and then the sides are going to be your foundation. So you're bringing the foundation down from a surface level that's flat, but start working from a higher point, if that makes sense. Because if you build down low and you have a shop inside, you're just going to run into all this terrain and impossible pathing issues. This creator did it the right way. It's a good lesson to learn from. I did struggle a little bit with the pathing just because it wouldn't let me grid path here for some reason. So it wanted to auto connect to the path here, and I could not stop it from doing that. So you can see it is connecting outward. So you can't really see it unless I delete it. But yeah, I put a red barrier inside the wall, inside the railing. So the guests cannot actually pass through here because the barrier won't allow them to. So they will have to go around. So in the end, I just fixed what the pathing was giving me problems with, and then as a result, it was also trying to like stick to things. Now, because the terrain actually isn't flat here and it's doing all sorts of crazy stuff, the pathing is actually elevated. It's floating. It may not look that way right now. If you were to delete all these floor pieces, yeah, it's floating. So what end up happening is you get these curbs, and there's really no way for me to get rid of that. So that is one unfortunate flaw that happened with this build, but hey, I did the best I could, and that is the best we're gonna get. But I don't think it diminishes the build in any way. It's also another amazing build, nothing like the other two. I like to see how everybody uses the Asian pieces differently and how much variety and variation we can get from this. I was actually worried that all of the builds would kind of look and feel similarly, but so far I'm actually surprised at how vastly different they are. Save us. Oh no, Pyrox have kidnapped us. Starry agent. What does this have to do with Pyrox? Is Pyrox your friend? Restrooms. So yeah, there's a 1 bathroom, 2 bathroom, and an Easter egg. Bum, bum, bum. Is Pyrox short for pyrokinetics? Is that like a thing? Am I such a boomer that I didn't know people call this stuff Pyrox? Oh, the Pyrox in that ride were awesome. Is that like a thing? Oh, I don't know. It's a great build though. I love it. So last but not least, let's take a look at the nighttime lighting. And there's a look at Zayfor's coaster. We did feature that just recently, a couple episodes ago, so we are trying to get coasters mixed in between all these blueprints. This lighting is a little bit on the bright side, but not too bad. Not too bright. I feel like I haven't seen these lanterns used that much. And I don't think these are lanterns that you can adjust the lighting for. So unless you added additional lights on top of those lights, there's not much you can do to control the amount of saturation and intensity that's coming off of those. But it probably just has something to do with the fact that there's so many of them. Oh my gosh, that's bright. Can we not adjust the brightness of these lights? You totally can. But with these paper lanterns, you kind of want, like paper lanterns in real life, they're so thin, they're made out of paper, that they glow. They're very nice to look at. You bring the light down so that the actual glow intensity goes down. The actual object itself loses its, what did I just do? What am I doing here? What is happening? These windows keep opening up on me. But yeah, the actual intensity of the lamp itself goes down. So while it is on the bright side, there's not much we could do about that without deleting a bunch of your lanterns, and they look good. So this might just have to do. Just might have to do. And then we have the red lighting over here. So we have yellow, red, white. It's gonna look like Christmas by the time we're done. Oh, I like it though. I think because of these lanterns being so emissively bright, and with very little control over that, this is just gonna be a cohesive area. All of the builds are gonna be bright, and that way, therefore, they all match. So our Chinatown market will just glow at night. And because of that, they're all gonna be equal in intensity. And I think ends up being fine. Where'd all this purple light just come from? Yeah, I think it ends up being fine. Whereas in the city, we definitely want to tone things down and try to keep things somewhat relatively cohesive where we can, because yeah. But actually looking at this city from the distance, it's not as bright as I felt from the ground level. It's good. Wow, so there you guys go. 3 incredibly different and unique Asian style builds to help develop Chinatown area of the park. All we're missing now is another little bridge and 2 buildings. What is this? This is just a generic building and another generic building. So it's going to be a lot of generic building, but the shopping center and all that's going to be here when the contest gets in. So we have bathrooms, we have the shop, we have a pretend marketplace. So not really like a lot of things that the guests can go in and shop at, but just a few. It's mainly all decorations, which is completely fine, because I think having too many paths, too many shops, this and that, it gets a little bit crazy. So a lot of pretend shops is fine. If this was a real theme park, you would be able to go in here. We don't have to make all of them interactable. And in fact, it makes this process a lot smoother. So Batch did actually a really good job at putting like a little bit of something here and there everywhere. Just one thing here and there, one thing there and there. Got to remember there's like burgers here that you can get. And I think there's going to be Pip Shop water you can get here. Mexican, yeah, pretty much every 10 tiles that you travel in this park, there's going to be something you can go spend money at for the guests. So it's well divided without being overwhelming, and that's absolutely perfect. So I can't wait to see what these last 3 builds are. We're going to save that for a future episode, and probably just those 3 and those 3 only, and then we get to look at the completed area. And I think up next I have a few builds for France ready to go, so we might do that. But let's see, we have 7 builds that need to go in there, and I think I'm sitting on 3, so we could do the 3 in the next video and then the last 4 all at once. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. So stay tuned for the next one, you guys. We're probably going to go to France next. We have not seen a single French building, so that should make for a very fun and entertaining episode. It's been a lot of fun, you guys. Thank you all so much for participating and hanging out with me in these series. It's been a great time. I hope you've all been enjoying the process so far. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next episode of Project PlanCo. Bye now.